Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, I'm kind of hanging around at the Westminster Mall in Westminster, California, doing a little bit of post-Christmas shopping. This is a place that I spent many hours of my youth and like early teens and 20s and that hanging out when malls are really big. It's really interesting to see how this place has changed since then. The whole theme of it has changed, and the style of the stores that are here are nowhere near what they used to be. It's clear that malls are kind of going under right now because so many of the storefronts are empty, and there's different kinds of stores in here that never would have been here before. I'm looking over there, there's a rejuvenation station, there's like mini golf places in here, there's furniture stores. You'd never see that kind of stuff in here. You know, it'd be clothing stores, it would be record stores, electronic stores, knick-knack type stores. All sorts of different things now. They got like furniture places in here, places to entertain your kids. It's just really interesting how this has all changed and how the internet changed everything. See, this is kind of a perfect example of what I'm talking about. We had arcades in this mall when I was a kid, but nothing like this. This is almost like an amusement park in here. You know, they got the rides in here. I see they got bumper cars over there. You can't really see from here. We'll hit that from another angle. Looks like a Chuck E. Cheese on steroids. It's interesting. It's 11:30 on the day after Christmas. You'd think this would be a very good day to go and spend some time with the family and go on the bumper cars and all that, but this place is closed. This used to be the entrance to Sears, another one of the big anchor stores. Just kind of went under. Now all there is just a big banner in its place. See, this is another example of a type of use of this store, of a storefront that never would have been used way in the past. This is like a virtual reality laser tag facility. Interesting. All right, this is another one of these interesting uses of the mall. This is I've seen these popping up all over the place. This is called a Sky Zone Trampoline Park. It's basically more of an active Chuck E. Cheese where you got trampolines and all sorts of things to keep you entertained. Never actually been inside one, so I kind of walk by this place. I just see what it's about. And of course they got the video games just like the other ones. You do your slam dunk practice of the trampoline. Who never wanted to try that, huh? Sounds like a good place to go after you've hopped your kids up on sugar to burn off some of that energy, right? You know, just let the parents kind of kick back and do nothing and have the kids burn everything up here. And then the parents just kick back and wait for it to happen. And here's my ultimate destination for today. Got to get some Christmas gifts for my sister and my niece. They're often both very difficult to shop for, but gift cards from this place are usually a hit. Kind of a funky little art studio they have here. Not going to go in because sometimes they kind of frown on you videotaping in there, but so back when I was younger, I used to raise birds. A friend of mine started off raising parakeets and cockatiels, and he kind of got me into it. And I, at one point when I was younger, had a couple of aviaries in my backyard. One that I had parakeets and finches in, and another which I had pigeons and doves in. And so one of my favorite places to come was the Magnolia Bird Farm. And I decided, since I was in the neighborhood today, I was going to check them out and see if they're still around. So these are zebra finches here. I used to have a bunch of these. These are just kind of nice little birds. They made they're kind of just very gentle, kind of did their thing. And were relatively easy to breed. And I think these are generally referred to as lovebirds. They're kind of starter parrots. They're slightly larger than the parakeet, and kind of, if you're looking to start off with a bird, you kind of start off with these. Used to just love kind of walking around the aviaries and looking at the birds they had. The selection doesn't seem to be quite what it used to be, but they still got aviaries and aviaries filled with birds. And actually, I guess I was wrong. These are the lovebirds here. Look at the beautiful colors on those. And of course I had an aviary full of parakeets, and I got a few of them floating around too. And a few more parakeets. And I guess they're beginning to celebrate their history a little bit. They got a replica here of the first aviary they had in 1950 here when they first opened. To say it's a replica of the first Magnolia Bird Farm aviary from 1954. It all began with one small blue parakeet and a small aviary. You sure have a lot to say, don't you? This one just likes to exercise his wings. Hello, pretty birds. And aren't you guys pretty? Yes, you are. Scarlet-crested parakeets. And here we have our canaries. We have the male canaries in the black cages and the female in the white cages. And apparently they tell you if you want one to sing, you got to get a male and not have a female. Because if the male sees the female, he will not sing. They even like to have little barricades between them so they can't see each other. And they have a second set of aviaries up here. Back when I used to come here, you used to be able to go up there, but they don't allow customers up there anymore. That was where all the good stuff was. So I was just kind of in the neighborhood and wanted to check that out. I hope you didn't find that too boring. I was noticing that, well, they have a lot fewer birds there for sale. You know, when I used to come there, you know, back in the, 80s and 90s when I was really serious about having birds, they'd have actually birds out on the sales counter. In fact, one of the birds that I got was a parrot, a conure, that I had many years ago. And he was just sitting on the counter one day when I was buying some other bird supplies. And, I kind of held my finger up to him, and he jumped onto my finger and ran up my arm to my shoulder and said, "Pretty bird," in my ear. And it's like I fell in love right then and there, and picked him up, and he became a very valued pet for a long time. He was my buddy. It was funny though, my mom couldn't stand him because apparently for some reason he didn't like women. So he did great with my dad, he did great with me, but he didn't want anything to do with my mom. And so my mom hated everything about him and couldn't wait. And that was the thing. She was happiest when I moved out because I took him with me. So I decided to kind of wander around here to try and make sure the tortoise was fine, go see where she was. I went into her normal hibernation spot and she wasn't there, which concerned me because usually around this time of the year she's hibernating. But I actually ended up finding her dug in right here, kind of buried herself in the bark there a couple days ago. So I kind of moved her back into her hibernation spot. So this is probably going to be the only time this trip you're going to get to see her. And you're just going to get to see her sleeping because, you know what, it's the end of December and that's what she does around this time of the year. So her little box, and this is the box that she had in her house in California, is just right here. And yep, there she is, hibernating for the winter. So probably won't see her again until, I don't know, February or March when it starts warming up a little bit. So there you go, there's your flash video for this trip. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video today. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.